In Game 5, he was the first quarter. Ray Allen picks up the loose ball, lays it in, but he's in pain. You see him telling the officials he got poked in the eye, and a replay confirms what he just said. Ouch. Allen off to the locker room and done for the quarter. Meanwhile, Kevin Garnett, who had a very quiet Game 4, made a lot of noise in Game 5.
Yeah, he said he would be better for this game, and boy, was he ever. You talk about setting the tone, Jalen. This guy came out. Look at the little shake move here and the tough turnaround over Pau Gasol. He was lights out in that first quarter, and that's so important to set the tone for a young team. Here, a beautiful alley-oop from P.J. Brown. Kevin Garnett's energy was amazing in that first quarter.
5 of 7, 10 points in the first quarter for KG. Third quarter has been big in this series. The Celtics decided not to wait that long. The second quarter, they took over. Pierce with the three. Sasha Vujacic drives. 3 Celtics collapse. That stifling Boston defense converges on him. 11 turnovers in the first half for L.A., and that sends it the other way. At the other end, it's Eddie House locked and loaded. Celtics up by 9 and very quickly pulling away. At that point, Ray Allen comes back from the locker room, a la Pierce early on in this series, eventually returned after missing 10 minutes of game time. Celtics played well without him. Another turnover, part of an 11-0 run here. James Posey finishes it off, and the Celtics up by 14, game over.
See, what I want people to understand is players win games, teams win titles. You see Kevin Garnett on the post, but it was Posey, it's House, it's Big Baby Davis, it's Perkins. There's so many guys making plays. That's just a big-time move right there. You know it's your day when that goes.
Garnett hanging and just throwing it in one-handed. 26 and 14 for the game after the free throw. The Celtics up 21. Lamar Odom into the lane. Turned away by Kendrick Perkins, who started. On the other end, it's Perkins finishing a 26-6 run to close out the half. Boston up by 23 at the break.
And didn't let up in the second half. Great professionalism by the Celtics.
Rondo, maybe the most scrutinized player for the Celtics all season long. He's been great. He's been not so great. He was very good in this game.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. He set the tone with his defense. How about the fact that he comes up with the 6 steals in this basketball game? He really ignited the transition offense here. You see him getting in, getting a hand. You want to attack the basketball. That's what Rondo did. But then he added a little exclamation point here with his ability to make the right play, finding a wide-open Ray Allen.
73-46 Rondo. They dared him to shoot it. He took him to the paint, took him to the rim, laid it in there. Celtics up 27 now. Ray Allen, the eye is okay. The shooting eye has always been great, and he's knocking down threes left and right at this point. Game basically over. Allen still playing and still firing away.
And I guarantee the game plan on Ray Allen is to follow him, trail him off screens. You try to go over the top, he will burn you, as you see in these highlights. And this is just bad defense.
One more time.
Might want to find him.
Allen's 7th three-pointer of the game. That ties an NBA Finals record, and it's 113-77. At that point, the celebration's on. You don't typically see NBA coaches doused by Gatorade, but everything about the Boston season has been different. Why not?
Well, they haven't won a championship in a while, so, sometimes you act a little out of character.
And when you up 40 points, you might try anything.
Hugs all around. Bill Russell telling KG, just 10 more. Just 10 more to go, right? Paul Pierce is your finals MVP. The final margin for the record was 39, the biggest margin for an NBA Finals clincher ever. It was also the worst playoff loss in Phil Jackson's career. Boston finishes the postseason 13-1 at home. 9 of their 17 titles have come against the LA Lakers. And again, Paul Pierce is your NBA Finals most valuable player. As I mentioned, this was the second biggest margin of victory in any NBA Finals game and the biggest for a closeout game. Fellas, take us through this historic night in Boston. How did the Celtics put away title number 17?
For the Boston Celtics, it was all about setting the tone, and who better to set the tone than the guy they brought to be the Defensive Player of the Year, Kevin Garnett. He came out, his intensity, his intangibles were there, his focus and concentration was there, but more importantly, his offensive arsenal was there, and he came to play from the beginning of the game, as you see this breakdown. The Lakers are in trouble right now. You know why? Because KG made it to the game. Here he is. He's setting the pick for Paul Pierce, enough to create space on a 2-4 pick and roll. Ultimately, you got to find a way to stop Pierce's penetration. Garnett can knock down this 18-footer with the best bigs in the game. Now, this just is a workout right here for Paul Gasol on the post. The dream shake over the left shoulder, and that's a good play. Now, you have a back screen set by Paul Pierce. The Lakers and Kobe Bryant do not communicate. Gives Garnett an easy layup. Those are the kind of shots you can't get at Boston Celtics and KG early in the game, Greg. He set the tone, set the tempo, and the Celtics were off to a great start at that point.
And they continued that great start of the first quarter with the second quarter, but this time it was about the bench and the overall chemistry, really, of the Boston Celtics. They do a great job both offensively and defensively. Here, Paul Pierce, great recognition of Eddie House. You know how quick he can release it there. He knocks down the three, but then the defense, James Posey, he comes up with the steal. But what's most impressive is the quick turnaround transition into offense. Again, Paul Pierce making the right decision with the basketball. Great ball movement here, and James Posey is the beneficiary. But it's really here, the defense, the activity with the hands, the aggressiveness to the basketball, and then again, ball movement. Eddie House, the knockdown jump shot. The Boston Celtics, you know about their big three, but really it was a concerted team effort that allowed them to really capture this world championship. These guys played basketball as well as it could be played in that second quarter as a group. That's why they're world champs.
And unfortunately for the Lakers, there's two halves to the game. And normally the Celtics turned it on in the third quarter, and you see anytime you see your coach getting doused with Gatorade in the NBA game, that means it's a big-time margin of victory, and you got a lot of time to celebrate. Think about handshakes. Think about how you guys going to jump around. Decide whether you want to go to Disney World. Decide if you're going to talk to Bill Russell and say if you're going to get another championship. And that's Paul Pierce right there, holding the championship trophy. Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, the big three, lived up to expectation, as were as advertised, brought it home for the Boston Celtics and their fans.
Really an impressive season all the way around when you think about what the Boston Celtics did. Yes, they brought in the big-time players, but to be able to mold and mesh that into championship caliber is really impressive. Give Doc Rivers and Danny Ainge an equal amount of credit for this great win for the Boston Celtics.
All right, guys, and it all equals the first one of those trophies at the new Garden in Boston. We'll continue our breakdown from Game 6. We'll head back to Beantown, get thoughts of those who saw it firsthand. Paul Pierce, the MVP, the longest tenured Celtic, long suffering with those Boston fans. More on his night, plus what could the Lakers have done differently in this series and what's ahead for LA. It's all straight ahead. Stick with us.
NBA Finals Postgame, brought to you by Kia Motors, official automotive partner of the NBA.
Now more than ever, you want to get the most for your money. Look no further than the 2008 midsize Kia Optima. Fuel efficient, 5-star safety rated, backed by an industry-leading warranty, and it's priced about $3,000 less than a Toyota Camry SE. Or to put it another way, 3 years worth of electric bills less. The 2008 Kia Optima. It's money well saved. Starting around $14,000 after $3,000 cash back or 0% APR.
Say cheese. Do we maintain 5 guys on the perimeter, or does he go back in there?
You get this on tape.
This summer, the United States is determined to reestablish itself as the best men's basketball team in the world.
Come through, get out there, Mike.
I'm very excited. This is one of the best groups ever.
1, 2, 3, USA.
Road to Redemption, presented by Nike, July 2nd on ESPN2.
If you're going to eat $5, shouldn't you get more meat? Quiznos large deli favorite sandwiches are just $5. Try the new large 5-meat stack. 5 meats, $5. Quiznos.
Next time we have a group meeting, we do it in my office. Oh!
Welcome to the biggest comedy event of the summer.
I would invite you, but I know you have your meeting with the Lollipop Guild.
Mike Myers, the Love Guru. Rated PG-13, Friday.
The last spot in the quarterfinals is up for grabs. Russia must get a victory, while Sweden needs a win or a draw to move on.
That's the equalizer. equaliser from Ibrahimovic.
Euro 2008, tomorrow at 2:30. Russia, Sweden on ESPN. Greece, Spain on ESPN2.
This is NBA Finals Postgame.
The celebration will go long into the night. The Celtic locker room filled with champagne, lots of smiles, plenty of tears as the Boston Celtics NBA champions once again. And again, it is the epitome of a team what the Celtics have done this year, but two particular players really stand out. And it starts Kevin Garnett. He was the #1 acquisition, Jeff, and you made the point during the game that he's the type of player, he's so unselfish that everybody underneath him has to follow.
Well, he's often been criticized for being too unselfish for a star player, but with this mix of guys, it was the perfect blend of greatness and unselfishness that set the right tone.
And meanwhile, Paul Pierce, he's the guy that's been here the longest. He's still the #1 offensive force and raised his level on the biggest stage, Mark.
Well, showed why they call him the truth. Got it done on both ends of the floor, understood the importance of getting other guys involved offensively, sacrificing his own offense, and then echoing the voice of the leader.
So certainly smiles for the Celtics, but for the Lakers, a tough way for the season to end. For Kobe Bryant, brilliant season, won his first MVP, and they really played so well in the first 3 rounds, but he had a tough time in these finals.
Well, I think we all underestimated the greatness of the Celtic defense. We saw the record-setting performances throughout the year, and yet we questioned if they could get stops against the greatest player in the game. At the end of the day, their team defense won out in this series.
And the Laker team defense certainly was not good, but you know Bryant pretty well. The way he'll come back, he'll do something to make his game better for next year and for the team.
Oh, it's incredible to say. He's going to come back better. And I think if you're the Lakers, this is something to build on, because you look at the start of this season, nobody expected them to be in this situation. So it's a bad taste, but you have to build on it and look forward to the future. The future looks bright in L.A.
Of course, the Celtics, they had a bad taste last year, just 24 wins. What a turnaround. The greatest singles season turnaround in NBA history ends with the 17th championship in their franchise history.
All right, fellas, thanks so much. It's always sweet for those first-timers. You see them hopping around there in the locker room, but it's even sweeter for Boston fans because the 17th title came against the Lakers, which means their franchise put a little more distance between themselves and L.A. in terms of all-time championships. And that's not fiction. That's the truth. Speaking of which, the MVP is Stu Scott.
This is your 10th year in the NBA. All your career, you have dreamed about winning a championship. How does the dream compare with reality?
This is unreal. This is unreal. Just where we came from a year ago, where I was at. To be here today, celebrating with my teammates, putting a stamp on what a great year it was this year. I'm just happy that Doc, the ownership, my teammates, everybody, the city of Boston stuck with me throughout all the hard times. I know we didn't have a lot of great years, but you guys right here, you guys stuck with me. And now we bring home champion 17. Yeah!
Pretty cool. Pretty great feeling for Paul Pierce, who's, as he put it, has been through some of the lean years there in Boston. He got his chance with the trades last summer, and he capitalized tonight and throughout the playoffs. What did you learn about Paul Pierce this postseason?
Well, getting a chance to know Paul off the floor, I remember he got drafted out of Kansas, and he was the 10th pick in the draft. As you look back at that draft, he probably would have been in the top 1 or 2, definitely, by the way you looked at his career shaping up. But here's a guy, anytime you're a top player on a losing team or a team that's not a competitive team, people take that for you not being a guy that can get it done on the big-time stage or a guy that's just a scorer. He showed the world that he's a big-time player when you surround him with other talented players. He can shoot the 3. He plays mid-range. He drives to the basket, plays on the post. But also what he has showed throughout this series is the ability to make plays off the dribble, through pick and roll, through driving kicks. He had 10 assists tonight, has been the go-to guy all season, knocking down big-time shots. The longest tenure Celtic, deserves it, got it done, and he's celebrating with his teammates.
Not only all that, but his defense, not only against Kobe Bryant in this round, but remember, he spent a lot of time guarding LeBron James in the previous round for Boston, 2 rounds ago, I should say. We had sort of a split on who we thought the Finals MVP should be. I said Pierce, who ultimately won it. You guys both said Kevin Garnett. Why should KG have been the guy?
Well, here's a guy that's been so maligned, and people get caught up in statistics and whether or not the guy's your go-to guy. We kind of live in this instant gratification society nowadays, but what Kevin Garnett is he's the rock that anchors the defense, and he really changed the culture of this entire franchise when he came there, and he had such an impact defensively. Plus, he was a very, very productive scorer, but really it's what he did in the paint. And I say it time and time again, I'm going to continue to say it. There's a reason why there's 3 seconds in the paint, because that's where championships are won. And defensively, Kevin Garnett dominated the paint in this series. He was a difference maker. He flustered Pau Gasol. He also did the same for Lamar Odom. His defensive tenacity, energy, and intensity, it comes to mind of somebody who you might want to take a look. Look at these numbers. Now, these numbers don't blow your way.
Who is this?
15 points. Guy shoots 44% from the field, 53% from the free throw line. Now, the rebounds are impressive. But what this number doesn't tell you is what this guy, Bill Russell, did with 11 championships, because it's not the stats, it's the impact. This guy's the greatest champion that team sports has ever known, and it's about his ability to dominate the paint on the defensive side of the ball. And that's where I think Kevin Garnett learned. You go think about Wilt Chamberlain, the greatness of him. Well, Bill Russell had his way with Wilt Chamberlain. He couldn't stop him individually, but he could contain him enough to the point where it allowed his great teams to dominate. Bill Russell was never the leading scorer for the Boston Celtics. You had Tommy Heinsohn at times. You had Sam Jones. You had Bob Cousy. Those guys got it done offensively. But those offensive numbers pale in comparison to the impact he had defensively. And Kevin Garnett, I think, paid great homage to Bill Russell with his performance in this series, because he dominated this game defensively, and this series was about defense. And Kevin Garnett put his signature on it.
And also, now we play in an era where it's all about trying to find a way to get more points in the NBA. But if you notice the teams that have been champions here recent, like the San Antonio Spurs, those teams are defensive-oriented teams that dominate the paint, as you mentioned, have a big men that patrol the paint, contest shots, rebound the basketball, and have perimeter guys that make timely shots when they need to. Defensive Player of the Year. He also had a double-double in each of the 6 finals games, averaged 18 and 13 for the series. More importantly, he's got a ring coming. The Lakers do not have another ring coming, at least not in 2008. What went wrong for L.A. from the man at the top, Phil Jackson.
We will go higher. We will shine brighter. We will go higher.
If you're going to eat $5, shouldn't you get more meat? Quizno's large deli favorite sandwiches are just $5 with more meat than similar $5 footlongs at Subway. Now $5 goes even further with the Quizno's new large 5-meat stack. 5 meats, $5. Quiznos love what you eat.
There's no letting up out there. No doubt this one is going to come down to the end. The 2 and 88, they've just been at it all day long. Oh, trouble. Unbelievable pile up there. Boy, you said it, but the window nets are down. Everybody's okay.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series on ESPN2, Saturday at 8 Eastern with the Camping World RV Rental 250 at Milwaukee.
I need 480 tons of plaster. I need 70 more rolls of paper.
I need an ultrasound machine.
Now, the card that helps you get what you need can help you get what you want. When you're approved for the American Express Business Gold Rewards Card, you can earn a free domestic round-trip airline ticket on Delta or our other partners. So you can take that well-deserved trip anywhere in the U.S. And with no preset spending limit, you can use the card to buy what you need when you need it.
Not next week.
Not tomorrow.
Now. Plus, you can get the rewards in return. Apply today, and we'll waive the fee for the first year. Call 1-800-NOW-OPEN or visit open.com/free ticket.
I need a better way to buy what I need.
the American Express Business Gold Rewards Card. Apply today, and you can earn a free domestic round-trip airline ticket.
Yet another one of the plot lines running through this series that makes tonight's championship so sweet for Boston fans is that by winning their 17th title, they denied Phil Jackson his 10th, which would have passed Red Auerbach for all-time titles by NBA coaches. The Lakers, so good in the regular season. After the Pau Gasol trade, they looked unstoppable. They went through that tough Western Conference 12-3 to reach the finals, and then they ran into Boston. Where did they come up short?
Well, in a couple areas. First and foremost, they really could not compete in the paint with the Boston Celtics. Boston was far too physical. They dominated the interior. The Lakers really could never get anything going there, and also they could never get out in transition. And so, in essence, they made a full-court team, a high-octane offensive team, into a half-court team that was very stagnant and did not have a lot of confidence. But if you're the LA Lakers, now's not the time to panic because you have a phenomenal season. You still have a very young basketball team, and in a lot of ways, Jalen, they're going to be getting the #1 pick in next year's draft when you think about getting Andrew Bynum. So there's still a bright future for them.
Yes, sports is interesting because it represents tremendous highs and tremendous lows. You lose a game, then all of a sudden you're the worst team ever. You win the championship, you're the best team since sliced bread. It's 30 teams in the NBA, people. All of them wanted to be playing on this stage tonight. So for the Los Angeles Lakers, you go back to the drawing board. Kobe Bryant is still the best player in the game, the MVP. You get Andrew Bynum back, as Greg mentioned. It's like getting the #1 pick in the draft. You still have Gasol for a full season. You have Lamar Odom coming back. Now all of a sudden you have a core group of guys that have confidence, that have made it to this point of the season. Now they have something to work for. They know that there's a next level for this team to go and get to.
And you know what else, too? This is what experience is all about. The experience, you now know just how hard you're going to have to work and how much you have to do to win a championship. Even though you got there, you could see the difference between where Boston is as a team and the commitment they have defensively and where you are. So this could be something that they build on. A lot of great teams didn't get to that championship level until they felt the taste of defeat. So this is a similar lesson for the Lakers.
That experience showed up on the floor. Like you saw Boston often with lineups including all 30-year-old players or older. Sometimes you had Sam Cassell and P.J. Brown out there. P.J. Brown was retired essentially midway through the season. Now he gets a championship ring as well. Lakers, a little more competition in the Western Conference with the likes of the Spurs and the Hornets out there next season, but they should be awfully good. Celtics, they're the best. They're celebrating. They get the rings. More on Boston coming up.
Say cheese. Do we maintain 5 guys on the perimeter, or does he go back in there? You get this on tape.
This summer, the United States is determined to reestablish itself as the best men's basketball team in the world.
I'm very excited. This is one of the best groups ever.
Road to Redemption, presented by Nike, July 2nd on ESPN2.
Gotta get my girl back. Didn't work with me.
He'll do whatever it takes
You are not allowed to fight anyone.
to bring the whole world together.
This ain't driving Miss Daisy, man. I'll break your fingers.
The Love Guru, rated PG-13, Friday.
If you're going to eat $5, shouldn't you get more meat? Quiznos large deli favorite sandwiches are just $5. Try the new large 5-meat stack. 5 meats, $5. Quiznos.
Howie Mandel, right here in the neighborhood. I'm with Buy.com. Do you want us to come over?
Sure.
You are like a Buy.com virgin. Go to Buy.com. You can buy toys, computers, home electronics. Buy.com accepts Google Checkout. Shop across the web with one login. New buyers get $10 off. That's it. Let's just wait as a family. Ready?
Remember?
What's that? It's the stuff you ordered.
Better prices than Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
I'm off to another neighbor. Where are you going to shop?
Buy.com.
ESPN360.com, your online home for live coverage of UEFA Euro 2008. Catch all the daytime action even when you're not at home. With TV quality picture, experience total control. Plus, view the game in English or Spanish. No matter where you are, go online and watch the drama unfold live. Or replay any games you've missed. Log on to ESPN360.com today to watch UEFA Euro 2008. Available on Verizon, AT&T, and other select internet providers.
If you had told anybody who follows the NBA, even the hardest core Celtics fan, that in 2008 the champions would be the Celtics, they would not have believed you. A 42-game turnaround in the regular season gave them home court advantage throughout. They took advantage by going 13-1 in Boston, leading to the franchise's 17th NBA title and first in 22 years. Emotions are running high in Beantown.
This is just unbelievable experience. I mean, if you're going to win a championship, you want to win one with the Boston Celtics, man. And I can't even put into words how to describe how I'm feeling right now. Just, it's been great, man. It's been great.
And as a group, we said it together, no excuses. Don't use them. We don't need them. And I just thought we had a very mentally tough team in that way.
About a minute to go, you, Paul, and Ray, sitting there with your arms around each other.
And we said this is the reason we came here. This is the reason we all got together and Danny made it go down. And this is it right here. That moment right there solidified the reason why. You know, from the moment we sat on that podium and talked, from the moment we was in the back talking to the moment we stepped foot in Rome, this was the reason right here.
Exactly the way they planned it last summer. Who would have thought all this? Redemption for Doc Rivers, who was maligned as the head coach of the Celtics last year when they struggled so much, and a player who made the conference finals twice but never the NBA finals. He's got a ring as well now. How good can the Celtics be next year and the year after that?
Well, you look at the Eastern Conference, you got to look at them and say that they're going to have every opportunity to be back here, and they could definitely win another championship. Remember, they're young players, Kendrick Perkins, Rajon Rondo. They're going to get better. You know, Rajon Rondo, his last game, people forget, this guy had a monster game. He probably had the most complete game of anybody in the entire finals. So they're going to get a lot better in time to come. And it's funny, Jalen, people talk about Doc Rivers as a coach and KG and all these guys. The reality is, unless your team is good enough, you can't win. And right. Now they have the core nucleus that will allow them to compete with the elites in this league for the next couple of years.
Well, first off, the East is a revolving door. So for the most part, I can't talk about the teams that haven't been successful. Yes, the last couple of years, Miami has come out, Detroit has come out, Cleveland has come out. The only team in particular, we talked about this, I see is giving them problems is Cleveland Cavaliers, depending on what they do to their team. We know Detroit is going to make changes. We don't know what. But the Boston Celtics are in position really to run the Eastern Conference and get this done again, possibly.
Fellas, it's been fun.
I enjoyed it, man.
Enjoyed it. Celtics are champs. It's chic to be green. See you, everyone.
Celtic fans holding their breaths here in Boston.
This is the sight that the Celtic fans want to see. And here the ovation. Pierce ready to check back into the game. Pierce for three. Bang! Pierce, another three. Back-to-back three-pointers for Paul Pierce. Rondo to Paul. Rondo, ball fake to Paul. Again.
Tough to be a Laker fan today.
Vujicic for three. Bang! Bryant gets it up in the air, puts up the shot. Shot rolls in. Kobe Bryant does it again. Kobe Bryant fires away. That's good. Lead is back to 18. Allen on the drive, gets to the basket. Lefty layup, banks it in. Celtics turn in one of the great comebacks in NBA playoff history. Kobe Bryant for three. That's good. Kobe Bryant for three. Kobe Bryant, another three-pointer. Ball knocked away by Bryant. Here he goes down the other end. Here's the long three. Rattles it in. Here's to Garnett. Garnett inside. Backs it in. And a foul. Ray Allen, another three. Knocks it down. His seventh three-pointer of the game.
The Boston Celtics are NBA champions once again.
After weeks of speculation,